Epstein file says Trump knew and funded underage sex parties at his golf course. An FBI tip memorialized in the Epstein files alleges Trump knew about underage sex parties at a Trump golf course. By Natasha E. June 9, 2026. An FBI document from the U.S. Department of Justice Jeffrey Epstein files contains extraordinary allegations involving President Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and a Trump-owned golf course, claims that appear to have originated from a single tipster who contacted federal authorities in 2021. The FBI intake report does not identify the golf course referenced by the caller. However, the allegation appears in files connected to Epstein, whose sprawling Palm Beach mansion served as the center of many of the activities that ultimately led to his conviction and the federal sex trafficking investigation that followed. The document, dated June 21, 2021, summarizes a call received by the Bureau's National Threat Operations Center from an individual who claimed to have first-hand knowledge of criminal activity involving Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Trump. Among the allegations in the report, the caller claimed to have recordings of Trump, Epstein, and Maxwell discussing marketing strategies for high-profile sex parties held at a Trump golf course. The caller alleged the recordings had been mailed to an attorney in the Cayman Islands. The tipster further claimed Trump knew about underage sex parties occurring at the golf course and that revenue from the club was used to fund them. According to the report, the caller said he had previously spoken with FBI agents, but felt triggered as a victim and had not disclosed all the information he allegedly possessed. While the intake report memorialized allegations that multiple girls were murdered and buried at a Trump golf course, newly released Epstein records suggest federal investigators ultimately viewed the source skeptically. Other FBI summaries released by the Justice Department indicate complainants making similar allegations were deemed not credible, and no publicly released records show that authorities excavated any Trump golf course or uncovered evidence supporting the claims. The allegations in the report grow even more sensational. According to the FBI summary, the caller alleged that former television personality Robin Leach strangled a young girl during one of the parties and that the victim was buried behind the course's 19th hole. The caller claimed to know of 3 separate instances in which girls were murdered and buried on the property. The document contains no indication that investigators corroborated the allegations, nor does it provide evidence supporting the claims. FBI intake reports typically memorialize information provided by tipsters regardless of whether it is ultimately substantiated. The caller also claimed ties to the Sinaloa cartel and alleged that he worked closely with Epstein and Maxwell. According to the report, he told agents he had helped Maxwell develop a camera system at the golf course and assisted cartel members in understanding how to market girls between the ages of 12 and 14 to trafficking victims. The FBI document does not indicate whether the Bureau investigated the claims further, whether any physical evidence was ever produced, or whether authorities found the allegations credible. The release is the latest example of how the Justice Department's publication of Epstein-related records has surfaced a mix of previously unknown information, investigative leads, witness statements, and unverified claims that federal investigators have collected over the years. Trump and Epstein were famously acquainted during the 1980s and 1990s and moved in many of the same Palm Beach and New York social circles. However, the FBI document does not provide evidence supporting the caller's allegations, and no criminal charges related to the claims described in the report have been brought against Trump. The White House did not return New Times Press inquiry regarding the FBI report.